Which are these people who were made to pay 400 rupees to get a ration card? These are the people who were made to pay 500 rupees for a driving license. These are the guys who have now rallied behind Anna and said, we don't worry about our livelihood any longer. We are with you, because it's enough of this political blackmailing which they have done to the civil society. It's a major victory to the civil society today. And the political executives have to acknowledge this today. They cannot ignore this victory which the civil society has achieved because of Anna and the team. We really salute them. And it's now prerogative for the citizens to ensure that we all convince Anna to break this fast as soon as possible, because the political executives will not be sensitive. They are the most insensitive governance today India has ever seen. And what we in the civil society would like to take you back is, since the time 1983 when I got into the consumer movement, tons of literatures have been created which none of these politicians know that good public money has been spent on creating those documents, on bringing in good processes. We don't need laws. We don't need laws. We need good, transparent, accountable processes. We need people, political people who admire values, who acknowledge values, who salutes values, who practices values. And today Anna's team has only given 3 simple solutions to them. I don't think it's rocket science.
Nobody opposes.
All the political people who are in the political system today.
What I find incredible is this, and Farah, nobody opposes the 3 points.
There's no discussion now.
Nobody,
there's no 7 hours. 25 years they've been discussing.
Yes,
there's no 7 hours. 25 years they've been discussing. Today it's time for them. The chips are down. They either agree to what Anna has said, or they seek a fresh mandate from the people on this issue. Every political system, every political representative has to now go back and seek a fresh mandate on this issue. And this is a very important issue. If they don't agree on those 3 points, Citizens' Charter, the consumer movement has been working on this since 1996. The Prime Minister has gone on record on 1996 that they acknowledge Citizens' Charter. The leader of the opposition, Atal Bihari Ji, has given a letter to us. They want to support Citizens' Charter. But what has happened? Citizens' Charter is nothing but a brochure within the government. It's not a document.
But John, the other argument is this is unilateralism. Farah, they say it's unilateralism. That Anna Hazare is saying my way or the highway. I want a response. No, let's get all points of view in tonight. 1 minute, let's get all points of view. There are some people who say... There are some people... Let me get Farah's point of view on that, and then I'll come back to you, and I'll come back to Nirmala Sitharaman. Somebody said earlier unilateralism. Anna is being unilateral, and political parties should not be responding to unilateralism. Farah.
No, this is absolutely not true. This is not true. There's a process. This is democracy. Please. You have to listen. I have sat through the drafting of 4 bills. No bill has been passed in the parliament without taking consensus of the citizens. Why they did not do this? It is insensitive governance, that's all. That is what has come onto the street. You must take the pulses of the people, what the people want. And that's why I remember KP Singh Deo, when we drafted the Consumer Protection Act, he sat through the whole day with us, taking our views. Why did they not do this?
Let's get the other view.
The Lokpal bill.
Let's get the other view. I asked Farah. Some people said this is unilateralism. Farah, what do you think? Can you call it unilateralism anymore?
You know, I really think that the gentleman on my left, I think this kind of shouting is not the way to debate a very, very important and a sensitive issue. You know, Arnab, it's activists like me who actually curiously, we keep saying the government is caught between a rock and a hard place. And I said, you know, it's activists like me who are caught between the rock and the hard place. Because on the one hand, we have a movement before us whose means and methods I completely endorse. I've done it myself. Dharnas, gheraos, barging into people's offices, courting arrest. We've all done that for less popular causes and maybe not in front of cameras, but we've all done it. The point is, and on the other hand, you have an unresponsive system. And I hold no party above this. Every single, you see, for me, this has not been about government about UPA, about BJP, which is what this debate at this nth crucial hour is being reduced to by the kind of posturing that the BJP is doing now. I really think this is beyond that. It's about an absence of governance. It's about a responsive system to its people. It's about all of these things. Parliament has been functioning very, very, very badly. I want to strengthen it. You see, we've been hearing, and so I'm caught between the rock and the hard place, between saying, if you don't completely endorse the Jan Lokpal bill, Farah, then you're somehow saying you're pro-state. And I'm not. I've been fighting that state myself for my entire career as an activist. And I will continue to do so.
Posturing.
But I reserve my right to tell Anna Hazare, I support your movement, I support some of the things it's brought center stage, but I don't like this bill, and I urge you to please listen to many other voices around here who are like I'm saying, you see, people, I didn't even know about this bill.
Yeah.
I have educated myself. There are many other people, Arnab, who have a perspective, and this needs debate. It cannot be done in 24 hours and in 48 hours.
But no one's asking for that.
Nirmala Sitharaman, Nirmala response.
No.
One minute.
She just doesn't.
I think what is important. One second, Aarti. What I want to finish saying is, a resolution is fine, but the resolution cannot say that certain elements must be there in this Lokpal bill.
Aarti,
the elements must be there.
Let Aarti now respond.
Anti-corruption
Let Aarti respond now.
But in this particular bill, I think that's where the problem is.
Fine.
No,
Aarti
I think,
respond.
listen, Arnab, can I make a point? Can I make a point here?
Go on. Aarti, you wanted to come in. Go ahead, Aarti. Aarti, go ahead.
No, Arnab, I think what is important to look at is the letter that Anna Hazare sent to the Prime Minister. And I think he makes it very clear in that he's not setting time frames, he's not making unilateral demands, he's not saying that his Jan Lokpal bill has to be passed. All he's doing is raising 3 issues on which I think there is broad agreement amongst all civil society activists. And even, we heard Salman Khurshid saying that there's no problem in agreeing to that. There's agreement within political parties also, broadly. The specifics of it can be framed in a standing committee when they get down to discussing the nitty-gritties of the bill. So, I mean, let's not misrepresent what is happening and what's being said. And I don't see any harm in the government agreeing to, to get those sentiments into some kind of a resolution to be passed on the floor.
One minute. 1 minute, Aarti. The charge of posturing was made at the BJP, so I must go to the BJP now. No, the charge was posturing. Charge was posturing, and hence I must get a rebut here from Nirmala.
Well, if BJP explains its position, and then when BJP responds to the call from the public, and you react to the developments which you're seeing visibly everywhere, not just in Delhi, everywhere, it is called a posturing. It is certainly not posturing, and I would definitely want Farah to please revisit the way in which BJP has been engaging with different groups, talking to them details, understanding what is going to reach out, and ensuring that it will play a constructive role in the parliament. If that is posturing, I'm sorry, it is not. But at the same time, to contrast this, I will want to talk about this one line. The government has engaged, and engaged with all seriousness, I assume. Subsequently, it named some of the most important members of the cabinet to engage with these groups. What has it come up with? A lame bill. Subsequently, it never even considered the other bills which were existing. And again, to say that, we'll see when it can be brought in. The reason why we are insisting on voting is till today we do not know what the government's position is. The draft Lokpal bill which came up, the bill which they have tabled in the parliament, the government itself doesn't seem to be referring to it in any of its last 2 days' talks. And subsequently today, another dimension has been brought in. We want to know where the position or where the Congress party stands. What does the government want out of it? If this drags on like this, and as Farah started off with a senior citizen sitting there, jeopardizing his own life and raising a very important issue, where does the government stand on it? The reason why we want a voting is only because, let us be very clear, It is important. It was one of the very important instruments to have a Lokpal bill. It is not going to be the end of the story. Yes, we need to have a lot of systemic corrections and so on, about which the General Secretary has spoken. All of us are concerned about it. We want to strengthen the democratic processes.
The idea must be,
in the light of institutions being continuously being attacked, whether it is the CBC or anything else. I'm not trying to bring in a political point here, but certainly it is important for us to have this voting only because the government has been missing out on every opportunity to state its position.
Are you pushing on 184 because you know it's not going to come? Okay, Farah, come in. Farah.
Arnab, I just want to say, I am one of those people, and in fact on your channel, I believe that this trust deficit that exists, and it exists for a very good reason, because our leaders have let us down repeatedly. There is a trust deficit, and I am one of those who's been saying for many days that I believe to restore that trust as a symbolic gesture, the government ought to have withdrawn its bill. I believe that. Now, having come to this pass, I don't have any objection to a resolution, and frankly, about voting and non-voting, this is for these politicians to figure out. I am interested in a resolution that can say we are willing to discuss all of these issues, but a resolution that says each of these elements will find their way into the final single Lokpal bill. That is the only thing, and if that's not the case, then I
wonder what the problem is. I really wonder what the problem is. I wonder what the problem is on something which everyone agrees on. Why this entire issue? Therefore, you cannot have a simple resolution to it. Everyone agrees. BJP even has taken a hardline position. Why there cannot be a simple resolution tomorrow? I don't know if it is asking for too much.
Hardline position.
No. You've taken a strong position today. Nirmala, you've taken a strong position today.
Which you infer about BJP. BJP is not taking a hardline position. We've been talking about it. But the fact is here, all of us seem to be agreeing. Citizens are agreeing. The problem is the government is not budging. Government is not budging.
Something regarding what Pranab Mukherjee just came out and said.
I want to come in.
1 minute. Abhinandan, yes. Abhinandan.
Yeah, I just want to, these discussions can carry on. I just want to point out that we have been told, and the government has tried to convince us time and again, and the Prime Minister in a very heartfelt speech which moved many, said the other day that they're very sensitive to Anna's condition and they would want that to be resolved. I didn't see any sensitivity or concern for that in the statement that just came on. This is such a great time for Pranab Mukherjee to say anything, something, just even have an expression of some sort of sensitivity. I did not see that. If anybody did, please point it out to me, because I think a lot of cliches are being said that we're sensitive. Nothing is actually being communicated in a meaningful way, and that is sad. Either through statements or through
I'm just worrying we're heading towards a stalemate.
A little query I could ask.
No, I just am running short of time, but I must say this. Running short of time, Abhinandan, I'm running short of time. I just want to say one thing. I think we're heading towards, I genuinely fear that we're heading towards a stalemate. Now, unless tomorrow the government really positions something differently, and that's why all eyes are on what Pranab Mukherjee says tomorrow. If there is something, not something substantially different from what he said today, maybe he's reserving the best for 11 o'clock tomorrow. He could change the entire course of the debate. The fast can end tomorrow. I want to wrap up by saying just this. Consider this, a 74-year-old man should not be allowed to enter the 13th day of fasting. It becomes a serious crisis then. And from what Anna Hazare has displayed, he's not going to agree. Will you hospitalize him forcibly? Will you take him away? Will you force feed him? Is there a plan B in place? If the political debate carries on, have we forgotten that the context of this entire debate, everything we are discussing is Anna Hazare's fast? Can we take the debate in Parliament completely away from the context of the fast? That's the challenge tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I only have short of time, that's why I'm wrapping up tonight, but on a tone of concern. Because this entire issue has gone on for so long. We've argued every aspect of it. One man continues to fast. We're treading a thin line tonight. Tomorrow, the political class of this country can come together. It can make a change. It can disappoint. It can fight. Or it can articulate in one clear voice that it stands with Anna Hazare. Which of those choices will be taken? Our live coverage starts early. We want you to join in. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.